Hi there, Ingrid. Nice job with these new essays. Let's get right into it. The first one is the apology letter to the University of Albion. Let's see what you had to say. Okay, now remember you have several things to do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how you dealt with these. Okay, so dear respected examinations committee members of University of Albion, I am student Ingrid She. There's your student number. I am writing to provide explanations for my case 9355 to seek for your kind understanding and alternative solution. Okay, that's not really clear, Ingrid, right here. I'm writing to provide explanations for my case. Fine. Regarding my missing examination, or regarding my there you go. Yeah, regarding my absence from the examination for class MR 503, something like that. So just the language here is a little awkward. Okay, so first of all, please accept my sincere apologies for being absent from the examination for English literature subject. Well, let's see. For the examination for, you can't say subject, for English literature, usually, you know, if it's a university, there's some sort of a class number. So please accept my sincere apologies for being absent from the examination for English literature, and then you could write ENG, I don't know, 635 or something. Okay? The reason for my absence was the serious stomach ache that attacked me on that day. I woke up in the morning from a heavy stomach ache, or you know what, since you just said stomach ache, why don't you say from debilitating pain. That's a really nice collocation, okay? In order to avoid disturbing my roommate, I took a painkiller and rested quietly in my bed. After the medicine became effective, I felt a little better and fell asleep. Not into sleep. I fell asleep because of the exhaustion from the pain. I only woke up in the noon of the day. I only woke up around noon, and as a result, I missed the examination, as mentioned above. Due to the circumstances, I cannot present medical evidence without an because we don't put an in front of evidence. But I believe my roommate Mary may help me to prove that I was ill on that morning. Mary should be happy to do so. I understand that English literature is an important subject for my study of the year. I would also like to seek any possibilities, not for, I would like to seek any possibilities to redo the test if backup examination paper, if a backup examination paper is available. I've studied this for the semester, and the last thing I would like to do is to miss the test. Thank you for your time in understanding my case, and I would like to apologize again for the inconvenience this might cause. I look forward to your feedback, singular, about my situation and possible resolutions. Okay? Best regards, Ingrid, and so forth and so forth. Okay. It's fine. You did a nice job for the most part. I mean, there were some little grammatical and syntax things that were happening, but the one concern that I have is up here, and this is where everyone seems to have problems. It says possible resolutions, plural. You have to supply them. And from what I could see, you've only offered one. You said you would like to seek a possibility to redo the test. That's one resolution, and then you put the ball in their court to provide other resolutions, but that's not what you're supposed to do. So when it says resolutions, plural, you really need to provide more than one, okay? So I want you to think about that. It might seem like a minor detail, but I promise you it is not. So think about that and how you can deal with this and how you can avoid this kind of error in the future. You have to really pay attention to the language used in the questions. Okay, but on the whole, it was a good effort. I liked it. So let's take a look at your essay. And here it is. So history. Should universities teach local history or world history? Let's see what you say. History study. How about this? Instead of history study, why don't we say the study of history? All right, which just sounds much more natural. So, the study of history has always been a hot subject that students will choose to learn in most of the universities. Okay. Okay, I'm not so sure about this. There's something here that's a little off. Let's try it again. The study of history, or actually, you know what? Let's just get rid of study and say history has always been a hot subject that students choose to learn in most universities. Sounds better. Okay, it's more natural and just more accurate. So, whether the study, here you could say the study of history, whether the study of history should be focused on the local country or the rest of the world is a quite debatable topic. This essay will articulate on the pros and cons of both sides and the final conclusion.
Okay, so what's missing for me here is the actual answer to this question. It says, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? You really need to do that right here in the introduction. Okay? You have to give the examiner your opinion, where you stand on this issue, if that's what it says here. Okay? So let's move on to the body paragraphs. Now I'm going to tell you something before I even read it. Look at the lengths of these paragraphs, okay? I'm a little concerned with the fact that they are not balanced at all. This leads me to wonder if you've developed it in a kind of lopsided way. This is the first thing I'm thinking about as I look at it. So let's read it and see what you actually said. So I am a firm believer that history, again, history study, you could have also said studying history should be broader, and it should include both the local country history and the other parts of the world, especially the neighboring, is how you want to say this, countries or regions. Firstly, the strong connection between countries and regions cannot let us isolate just one country's history study. Every local country's most impactful events in the past decades will involve other countries. For example, in 1997, China had taken over Hong Kong from Great Britain without the. We had to study why Great Britain managed Hong Kong for about 100 years, as well as under what circumstances China, get rid of this, took it over from Great Britain. Secondly, we are debating about education at university level where students are expecting broader perspectives and fruitful knowledge, without the plural. By just concentrating on the local country's history, students could easily feel bored and unsatisfied with their level of learning. That's a really nice point. It's a good point, and I don't think I've heard it before, so it's a nice argument. Eventually, these students may turn to learn something else rather than history. The study from University of Oxford shows, careful with your spelling, you just wrote shoes, that most of the students who choose history, don't write this here, will prefer multiple countries. I don't know what's happening here. Did you want an apostrophe? History instead of one. So, okay, now you're getting a little repetitive. I don't know about this. I think you could have ended it with something else. Okay? All right. So we also acknowledge the fact that concentration on one single country's history will help the research to be deeper and more focused. With the same level of learning, students could become experts in a single country's history. This could be easily resolved by balancing the breadth and depth of knowledges in the subject between the local and the other. Okay, I'm a little confused here. What are you trying to tell me? That there is value in studying just one country's history? If that's what you're trying to do, then you should have analyzed it a little more. You could have talked about the value in studying just one country's history. That each country needs to understand why it got to the particular situation it is in today, and the best way to do that is to study the events of the country throughout its history. So you could have said stuff like that. So you could have added to this, because you can see that they're really, really not balanced at all. Okay, and then I started kind of getting lost in this last sentence as well. Okay, so with the speed of globalization that we are experiencing today, why is there a full stop here? There should be. We are more likely the citizens of the earth compared with, well, I wouldn't have said it like this. Why don't we change this a little bit? Why don't we say, with the speed of globalization we are experiencing today, We are more citizens of the earth and not citizens of countries. Let's enrich our history knowledge from more countries to become real global citizens. Plural. I think I would have liked that. Okay? So you know what's happening here, Ingrid? You never really told me what side you agree with. Like, okay, yeah, you're kind of talking about it here. Kind of. You're saying that we should, but you're not really telling me your opinion anywhere. And that's a problem. All right, so you should have mentioned it really directly here, and then you needed to restate it here. It's a little indirect. I want you to be more direct about it. Okay? And if that's also the case and you do believe that we need to study every country's history, then you need to reverse your paragraphs. The paragraph focusing on the value of studying local history should come first, and the other side where you talk about how we need to learn world history, that should come second. All right? So you've got some nice things happening here. You've got some nice ideas as well, but there are some errors that you need to work on. So please correct these. Don't forget to add the errors to your error correction list, and send back your new essays altogether. Alrighty, I'll expect them the next day or so. So I will let you get to that task. Good luck with your writing, and I'll be here waiting to see what you write for us next.